Good morning, everyone. So we start our today's reading session. Yes. And yesterday we are reading book Win Your Inner Battles. And yesterday we were reading about understanding, having awareness about who exactly is our inner enemy and our decision to fight with that enemy. And we will, of course, today we are reading forward. So the next chapter would be Know Your Enemy. Fear is the main source of superstition and one of the main source of cruelty. To conquer fear is the beginning of wisdom. And as we were discussing, that major part of that negative emotion, which is reducing our inner energy, is mostly the fear. So maybe you fear public speaking, ending a relationship, standing up to your boss, losing your job. So it can be in many aspects or many areas of life, or say losing your money, asking someone about certain things, or going to the dentist. It can be anything. The list of the common fears is like endless. It doesn't matter what you fear specifically. So, whatever it is, we are now going deep down from where it appears and how we can conquer it. So, understand this, it is natural to feel fearful. Everyone has fear, but that's not important. It is more important to understand why we experience fear. This question is important because if you want to solve something, you need to be aware of it first. That, of course, we keep on knowing this, and we, in our journaling, also, our first thing starts with the awareness. So, the primary function of the fear is to warn us of potential danger. It has start from evolution, like how the humans have evolved. So, without fear, humanity would not survive. If a wild animal attacked you, fear would alert you, which triggers a fight or flee response. So, fear's fundamental function is to protect you from the harm. So, this is actually the role of fear in the human evolution. So, nowadays, we do not face so many looming threats as before modern civilization, but the fear mechanism is still a part of our system. So it is still ingrained in our subconscious mind. Today, we are not fearful of wild animals or our, problems to our living because the civilization has completely different. But the thing is, it is still there in our subconscious mind, and that is what we need to understand. Now, evolutionary speaking, fear comes from our reptilian brain. So, the brain, which is in the middle, which is called as middle brain or limbic brain, which is more, seem like a reptilian's. And while we do not need fear in the same way anymore, evolution has not adapted our brain yet. So, though other things have moved forward in our brain, still that area, that limbic part or reptilian brain is active with this fear. So, it will probably take thousands of years before our fear mechanism adjusts to this modern day of life. But the truth is that we no longer need fear to survive. So initially it was the survival mechanism, but today it is not. So we need to understand the scientific basis of it. Then we can, see it as a third person perspective, and then probably we can, overcome it. So let's face it. What dangers do we encounter these days? The threats we face are no comparisons to the hunter gatherer days from man's earlier history, obviously. In fact, life is very easy, even when you compare it to the several centuries ago. When we started the agricultural revolution 10,000 years ago, people were killing each other over land every day. That continued for centuries. If it wasn't war that was killing us, it was an epidemic that would. So we have only found cures for the most of the diseases in recent history. But the things have improved now. So even those things we have overcome. thousands of years of civilization have made life gradually easier, and the fear is no longer protecting us, but has turned into our now worst enemy. So rather than now, the journey of fear has been from protection to the worst enemy. So your brain can't distinguish the difference between an actual physical threat or a threat that is made up by yourself in your mind. So that is all the similar things. So the only thing that matters is to understand what fear feels like, because that's the only way you can fight it, by knowing your enemy. So you are at war with yourself. To fight your inner enemy, you need self-knowledge. So again, here, before we start the fight, we are getting proper knowledge about that inner enemy, that fear inside us, and then accordingly, we'll be working on it. Now, it is said that it's a quote by one military strategist. If you know the enemy and know yourself, you need not fear the result of 100 battles. If you know yourself, but not the enemy, for every victory gained, you will also suffer a defeat. And if you know neither the enemy nor yourself, you will succumb in every battle. So that's why it is very important to know both your enemy in detail and yourself. And to know yourself better, I have created a list of certain questions you can use to improve your self-awareness. Now, there are a list of questions. Of course, this I would suggest that, of course, we'll be taking it in the journaling, so that we'll be able to, that we will do it on Friday, so that we will understand about, how much we know about ourselves. And meanwhile, we'll be, knowing, because right now I'm not just reading out the questions, it's of no use. We'll have to give some time, ponder on it, and then journal, so that we will know exactly what things are we should be knowing about our own self. So if you want to try this method, I would answer these questions with the first answer that pops out in your mind. As you can see, uh, the answers to this practical question, you will know exactly about yourself. So now, please do not start a discussion about how you should interpret these questions. So if you do that, you will be at it 80 years from now. So basically, it is like we will take this questionnaire at our journaling, like to understand what exactly is going on in my mind, and what kind of person I am. And accordingly, we'll be, focusing on or preparing ourselves to have this battle with our inner enemy. So next 2 minutes we have. Meanwhile, we will move on to the next thing. Now, what makes you afraid? So there is one good quote of Dalai Lama, that is, the purpose of our life is to be happy. So the basic purpose of anyone's life is to be happy. So fear, stress, and anxiety have a significant impact on the quality of our lives. Living with fear, stress, and anxiety causes what? Living an unhappy life and long-term physical and mental impairment. So we understand that, the happy state is very, very important, but all these negativities are causing either an unhappy state or physical or mental illness. So it is not our purpose to live unhappy life, which is full of fear, stress, or anxiety. Fear is toxic. Fear is our greatest enemy. It rips us from freedom and paralyzes us. We use excuses to not face it. And we say things like, one day I will start that company, or this time I will, work on this factor. Remember, fear is triggered when our safety is in danger. So it is a tool to avoid physical harm and death from enemies. Now, ironically, fear itself is our biggest enemy. Historically, we live in the safe times, and more often we are fleeing from ourselves than the actual danger. So fear is one of the main causes the people are unhappy. Not only will fear stop you from living a happy life in present, it can also cause several physical mental problems in the future. And the stress releases hormone called cortisol, and this harms your immune system. So we know many things about how it is not good. Of course, then you will be susceptible to the diseases. Then it will have problems like diabetes, osteoporosis, heart disease. And the stress and fear can also cause mental problems like depression, bipolar disorder. So this is all about the negative side of this fear, stress, and anxiety. Now, we will definitely find it out. What are our real fears? So that we will take it up tomorrow. And then on Friday, we will be journaling about knowing our own self. So that then we will be starting the next part of the book, which is about how to deal with, how to overcome with all these inner enemies step by step. So, first is only awareness, where we are understanding about them. So now we'll move on to our meditation segment. So just a second. Start sitting in comfortable position and gently close your eyes. Your spine is straight and your focus is on your breathing. Take a slow, deep breath. Relax your shoulder. Relax your jaw. Relax your face. And now bring your attention inwards. Continue breathing in the same rhythm. Imagine sitting quietly besides a flowing river. Leaves are floating on the water, and every leaf is representing one thought. Watch them pass. One leaf says, pure, let it float away. Another says, worry, let it float away. Another says, anger, let it float away. You are not chasing them. You are not holding them. You are simply observing. And just ask yourself, which thought keeps stealing my peace? And allow the answer to arise naturally. And now you are talking silently to these negative thoughts that I see you, I acknowledge you, but no longer control me. Take a deep breath in, hold for a moment, and slowly release. And imagine this river is carrying away your every limiting thought. Feel that space in your mind and say, I choose peace. I choose clarity. I choose thoughts that support my purpose. And stay in this silence for a few moments. You are carrying this calm confidence along with you. And whenever you feel ready, try to come back to the present moment. Wiggle your toes and fingers, rub your palms, keep it on your eyes and face, and gently open your eyes. So now this is all about like understanding what kind of thought. So again, we know that it is all coming back to that one thought in that particular moment, what we choose. So once we are able to identify the thoughts, we are in the moment, and then we can, make that difference whether this is helping me or this is not helping me for my purpose. And then we can slowly release those thoughts without any attachments to it. So slowly in this book, probably we'll be learning all these techniques and how we can, follow these things throughout in our lifestyle. So with this, we'll move on to our next segment today.
Good morning, everyone. So we move on to the last segment, and today it's the day for us to write affirmations. And as we have been talking about fear, overcoming that inner battle, today's topic was quite relevant because fear is one such thing which stops us from taking a next step. And fear is also, as we read, it is a good fear and a bad fear. If a good fear keeps you motivated, keeps you on your toes, and you look forward to something, is something which is encouraging you. But on the other hand, the fear which closes the doors or which doesn't let you perform or act as per your choices, that is the fear, or you feel stuck because of that fear which holds you back. That's the fear we need to fight because that's a fear which is not healthy for us. And most of the time, our obstacles and challenges occur because of one of the fears we are holding inside. Now, how to overcome that fear? Again, we have to go back to our mind psychology, that we have to start treating ourselves either through our positive statements or through positive self talk to overcome the challenge. The more we motivate ourselves and remind ourselves, the fear it reduces its shape, or it is it is reducing in its size in your head, and that is your victory. It goes one day at a time. So we will start writing affirmations based on the same. I'm going to share my screen here. Meanwhile, you get ready with your journals, your diaries, and let's start this journey of overcoming our fear in our best way possible. So just give me 2 minutes. Yeah. So we start with the first fear. Normally, what happens, fear holds us so tightly that it is definitely stronger than anything else which we can believe or start acting on. So you have to take the power back of that strength. I am stronger than the fear or the fears created by my mind. So you are stronger, not the fear in your head. You have to remind yourself. Because when you feel small in front of your fear, it's just like that small child who is overpowered by a towering man. It is exactly like that, you get into the grip of fear. So we have to come out of that image also. So I am stronger than the fears. Now, fears can be multiple. So that's why it's only not one. Though we will fight one fear at a time, but all the fears which hold me back, I am pointing to all of them, created by my mind. Because it is only created. You remember we would have discussed long back, and the old people would all know that when a child is born, there are only two fears the child is born with. The rest, all the fears you hear in the world are all acquired. Because acquired means you start believing it as your reality, and it takes the shape inside as that fear because you're not able to overcome. So only the two fears are the ones which the child is born with. Rest all are acquired. So if we have acquired something, we can also give away, or we can win over those things which are not, which I don't own. So that's where I am saying I am stronger than my fears or the fears created in my mind. Why you want to do that? Because you want to release the fear. You want to get rid of it and start believing on yourself. Because when the fear holds you inside, your trust and faith on yourself, it vanishes. So I release fear and welcome trust into my life. I release fear and welcome trust into my life. Because the more you will repeat that I release fear, you are welcoming trust and faith, which is important for you to take your next step, which is important to overcome your inner battle. Now, when you are doing this, when you're releasing, how you would release? Like I said, when you tell yourself, I'm stronger, stronger you will become when you start releasing the fear. Release, how will you release? By letting go. So I let go of the need to control everything. We we want to control everything, and that's why if we are running short of something, that's where the fear comes in. So I let go, letting go again, going back to the same concept. I let go of the things, or maybe I let go of the need to control things. There is no need. We try to control everything, and that's where we are adding on to the list of our problems. Let it be the way it is, because we have understood that we cannot change people, we cannot change circumstances. I can only control and have that authority on myself. So I am letting go the need to manage everything by my own. Why I'm doing it? Because your why will be your driving force. I'm doing this because I deserve a life filled with peace, confidence, and joy. When you will release this fear, when you will let go of the need to control, definitely what will you get in your life? You will have peace of mind, you will have calmness, you will have joy, you will have confidence. So this is what you deserve. This is the life you look forward to. So I deserve a life filled with peace, Now, whatever you want your life to be filled with, now that I leave open to everyone. What is missing which you want to write there? Peace, happiness, confidence, calmness, whatever. Fill in your way. And last, where you make your choice. And what is the choice you are making? You are not opting for fear. You are looking for faith. So I choose faith over fear. Simple, but very, very powerful because here you are making your choice and you are not standing with fear anymore. So I choose faith over fear. So if you see, we started, the thought coming to my mind is, I am stronger than the fears. And in the end, you are ending with this concept that I choose faith over fear. Now, these small, small statements will help you to overcome your inner battle, that battle which exists and we fight every day. And that's where the stress level builds in. So let's try to focus on the things we can control and release and let go of the things we cannot. So let's focus on coming out of that fear instead of focusing on things which are beyond me and I cannot take charge of it. So I'll be sharing the same list of affirmations in the group as well. Whatever you feel you resonate with in the concept of the say, align with the concept we are reading, create your own. Just keep on repeating. The more you will repeat, the stronger you will feel inside, and your fear will reduce its size inside your head. On that note, we end today's session. We meet again tomorrow, same time, same place, same link, reading further and understanding that how we can overcome our fear and make our life easy, simple, and happy. Thank you so much. Have a great positive day. Bye bye. Take care.